Donald Trump spent weeks planning and tens of millions of our taxpayer dollars on his birthday parade. And not just that, but he threatened and tried to intimidate protesters, all for the outcome to be a completely empty crowd and total humiliation for Donald Trump's birthday. Really a beautiful present to us and a horrible day for him. We're going to get into it all and how it was instantly ruined. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you, leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy the reporting we're doing on this channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get to the humiliating scenes from Donald Trump's birthday parade, I want to start out with the exciting and joyful scenes from the rest of the country. Protests in LA, Chicago, seniors in Salt Lake City, and some remarks from Congressman Jamie Raskin.
Press records are who have open warrants. They're going to work. They're going to places like home parking lots, car washes, garment factories, places where people go to work who have been here. I've spoken to several families who've been affected by these raids. People who have been here for 20, 30 years, who have U.S. citizen children, who are in their 20s, who are in their teens, in many cases U.S. citizen grandchildren. The degree of embeddedness in the fabric of Los Angeles that this community has is the reason I think that these enforcement actions and the way they were carried out really struck a nerve, and it's why we're seeing what we're seeing today and why we're seeing what we've been seeing over the course of the last week.
You're spot on. That is what's bringing people out, because these numbers are absolutely overwhelming downtown Los Angeles right now. Let's just hope and pray that it all stays.
And Musk now says that Trump should be impeached, and Trump says that Musk should be investigated for his tens of billions of dollars in federal contracts, and for once, they're both right. My friends, fascism will not be the end of American democracy. American democracy will be the end of fascism. We will stand up for democracy and human rights and freedom all over the world. We will stand with President Zelensky and the people of Ukraine against Putin's filthy, bloodthirsty invasion. We will stand with the people of Greenland, the people of Europe and Africa, the people of Canada and Mexico for our common right to trade with each other, to respect each other, to travel and migrate and seek asylum without fear and without terror. We are the ones fighting against terror and tyranny today. And I look at you today, Philadelphia, and I know we are winning. We are winning. No, you don't get to be a monarch or a dictator in America, and you don't get to be on the payroll of monarchs and dictators from other countries. Sorry, Donald, you don't get to keep the millions of dollars you've pocketed from Saudi Arabia, from China, from the United Arab Emirates or Qatar. We've got no kings and we've got no slaves. We've got no masters and no serfs. Those of us who aspire and attain to public office are nothing but the servants of the people. And the moment that somebody in public office begins to act like the master of the people, that is the moment to evict, eject, reject, impeach, try, convict, and start all over again.
Just such powerful scenes all across the country. Millions, tens of millions of people turning out and making it clear this is a nation in which we say no to kings. We say no to wannabe authoritarians. We say no to pretend dictators, and we show up. That is what has happened across the country, and I have been so inspired by it. And although I love seeing people show up, I might love people not showing up for Donald Trump, maybe just a little bit more. They seem kind of equal. It was an absolute embarrassment of an empty crowd for Donald Trump. Just take a look at this video showing how no one wanted to celebrate our wannabe dictator's birthday. There were so many pictures shared of empty crowds. There were no stanchions for people to sit in. They didn't expect overflow. There was no one in Washington celebrating with Donald Trump. Sure, part of that had to do with the fact that his parade was quite literally rained on. So we know Mother Nature's a Democrat. Appreciate you for that. But no one showed up for Donald Trump. Just a complete embarrassment. And in case you didn't see the clip, which is going incredibly viral, the sponsor for this event, yeah, there was a sponsor, is Coinbase, the crypto wallet company. So Donald Trump took the 250th anniversary of our military as an opportunity not to just gloat himself and waste taxpayer funds, but to probably, siphon off a little crypto cash for himself, because of course he did. It is gross, but I am so glad that he got humiliated. And I am so glad with what we saw today from people standing up and showing what America is really about. And we heard a little bit from Jamie Raskin. I want to hear a little bit more of what he had to say this morning, because of course, we love Jamie Raskin on this show.
So join us now to discuss is Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who is the ranking Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman Raskin, thanks so much for being with us. We want to start out today by playing something that Pete Hegseth said today at a congressional hearing. Let's go with that.
Can you assure the American people on two things? You will respect any Supreme Court decision on this matter about whether the Marines are constitutional, and you will respect the district courts when they rule before the Supreme Court rules.
What I can say is we should not have local judges determining foreign policy or national security policy for the country.
So you're not willing to say you would respect those decisions?
What I'm saying is local district judges shouldn't make foreign policy for the United States.
That exchange happened on Thursday of this week. So, Congressman, when you have the Secretary of Defense saying that, yes, Marines might defy court orders, are we at a constitutional crisis?
Well, we clearly have too many DUI hires in the Trump administration, starting with Secretary Hegseth. But look, the Constitution says that the Constitution and federal law are supreme. We have a supreme Constitution. We don't have a supreme leader. We have no dictators here. We have no kings. We have no monarchs. This is civilian government, and there's a reason that Congress is in Article 1, and all legislative power is vested in the Congress, just like all judicial power is vested in the Supreme Court and in the inferior court. So what's the job of the president? To take care that the laws are faithfully executed. So let the message go out through the Trump administration. Your job is to faithfully execute the laws that have been adopted by the people in the House, in the Senate, and signed into law by the president.
Congressman, President Trump this week, and we played the sound, we probably don't need to play it again, but you heard and you've seen it, that the people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force, heavy force, he said later. I guess I'm just curious this is not new rhetoric, right? You've been paying attention to Donald Trump for a very long time, but does it feel like it's ratcheted up, and that where the tensions are right now with everything we're watching, does it feel scarier?
Well, and this is a critical point, because having the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the right to petition government for redress of grievances, the right of the people to freely assemble, is the very opposite of having a king, because kings brook no dissent. They don't tolerate people's free speech. So that's why in the last several weeks we've seen some remarkable things happen. We saw a state judge arrested in Wisconsin. Our colleague, Senator Padilla, was thrown to the ground with his arms behind his back and handcuffed. My colleague, LaMonica MacGyver from New Jersey, just received a criminal indictment and faces 17 years in prison because she went to a scheduled appointment at an ICE facility and then was in that scrum of people around the mayor of Newark as they decided to manhandle him. They sent the Marines to California, and they illegally tried to federalize the National Guard in California. But the remarkable thing about our constitutional system is how resilient all the other parts of the government are. And I'm proud of the governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, the sheriff, and the chief of police there, who said, thanks, but no thanks. We don't need your help. You're just going to make things worse. And so far, we're winning in court there. There are now 184 federal preliminary injunctions or temporary restraining orders against this reign of lawlessness across the country. And today we're going to see a magnificent manifestation of the freedom of speech and what it means to have that in our society.
You know, Congressman, I would pick up on something, because as you were running through the litany of public officials, elected officials who have been retaliated against by this administration, you talked about, you know, the scheduled appointment, and that made me think of all the immigrants we have seen be detained, removed, deported from hearings, appointments, to be a part of the legal process, following the rules that they were told to follow, and getting snatched up by the immigration services. And I'm going to put up this headline from military.com from yesterday. ICE arrests Louisiana mother of a 9-week-old wife of Marine at immigration hearing. And this case highlights how the Trump administration's immigration crackdown is increasingly being driven by arrests at immigration check-ins and court hearings. If people are showing up at court, if people are showing up at immigration check-ins, they are following the rules. They are following the laws as set forth by the American government.
Yeah. Well, and this is unfortunately a standard practice now. We've been seeing this happen all over the country. That was the same occasion upon which the judge in Wisconsin was arrested as well. You know, to preview what I'm going to be talking about at the No Kings rallies today, I went through the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Particulars that was leveled against King George. And one of the very early things that the colonists were complaining about was the fact that the king was interfering with naturalization and people's ability to get into the country. And so there are some striking analogies between the things that the American revolutionaries said about King George and about what's going on today, like stationing troops in people's communities over the objections of the local officials.
This is the movement. This is the response. This is what we needed today. I feel so excited, so hopeful. You know what? I'm going to feel a little petty. I'm a little petty and watching Donald Trump be humiliated on his birthday. I can love that. I can take it in, and I hope you did as well. We're going to continue to uncover all the events happening today. There's a lot more reporting to be done. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way supporting our channel. And until next time, I'll see you soon.